Hey everyone! Enjoy your stay on our channel again. If this is your first time here, never miss an update from us. To do this, click the bell icon and mark the subscription button. Today we're talking about a big, controversial topic that affects both psychology and faith, so we're glad you could join us. A lot of you may have wondered, will narcissists ask God to forgive them and change how they act? This question will hit home for a lot of people, especially those who have met narcissistic people. Narcissists can be very charming, but they are very bad for your emotions. Sometimes, what they do leaves a path of hurt and confusion. Then what happens when these people think about forgiveness and atonement from God? If they can change, what does the process look like? First, let's talk about what narcissism really means. Clinically, narcissism is a personality disease characterized by a long-term tendency to think highly of oneself, a strong need for praise, and a lack of empathy for others. Because of these traits, narcissists might find it hard to accept their flaws, let alone feel real sorrow. However, as we look into this topic, we should also think about the spiritual side of it. Can someone who is so focused on themselves find the strength to ask a higher power for forgiveness? Atonement is hard because being self-aware and humble, which are needed for it, goes against everything that ego stands for. Realizing your mistakes, being truly sorry for the harm you caused, and trying to make things right are what real confession is. For a narcissist, this process is very hard because it makes them face their flaws, which is something they usually don't want to do. Their inflated sense of self-worth makes them think they are above criticism, which makes the idea of needing forgiveness hard for them. Psychologically, narcissists often have a weak view of themselves that is always looking for validation. This makes them more likely to deny and defend themselves when they are criticized or told they might be wrong. People sometimes think that narcissists can't really feel sorrow because they would ruin their well-kept image if they admitted they were wrong. Instead, they might offer weak explanations or acts of regret that are more about controlling the situation than showing real regret. But let's not completely rule out the idea. Spirituality and personality are linked in a confusing way, just like the human spirit. People who have been through a lot can sometimes have a big awakening or a crisis that makes them want to change their lives. If you have narcissistic traits, these times can help you become more self-aware. Another question is whether this leads to genuine apologies and a desire for God's forgiveness, but it's possible. The idea of divine kindness and mercy is at the heart of many religions. This view says that no matter how lost a person is, they can find their way back to God if they really want to. No one can't be saved. It may be harder for narcissists to go down the path of atonement, but it's not always impossible. It would likely require a big event in their life, like a personal disaster, death, or a time of being very vulnerable, that breaks their ego and helps them see that they need to change. Should a narcissist reach a point where they ask for forgiveness, the road is probably long and difficult. They would have to face their own pride, own damage they have done, and really try to atone. This is not something that happens overnight. It would take constant work and maybe spiritual direction. Their atonement can perhaps not appear the same as it does for others. It might be flavored with the very qualities that define their illness: self-interest, a need for respect, or even a fear of divine vengeance instead of a pure, selfless guilt for their deeds. Another factor is whether their apologies are sincere. A narcissist might say the words and follow the rules without really changing their heart. Whether in this life or the next, individuals could ask for forgiveness because it fits their self-image as a good person or because they wish to escape the results of their deeds. Under these circumstances, their atonement would be shallow, more about preserving control than about actual spiritual rebirth. But then, who are we to assess the genuineness of another's apologies? Many religious traditions hold that only God can really know the core of a person. Maybe the road towards atonement for a narcissist is a part of a more general, more complicated spiritual trip. Though it might not appear like what we are used to, that does not imply it is not genuine. Some might contend that even if imperfectly motivated, the simple act of asking for forgiveness is a beginning in the right direction and that divine grace can operate in ways we cannot completely comprehend. In the end, the person and their particular situation will determine whether or not a narcissist will ask God for pardon and atone. This approach would force individuals to face the very center of their identity, expose their weaknesses and faults, and pursue something outside of themselves. Though not necessarily an impossible road, it is a challenging one. Where therefore does this leave us? If you live with a narcissist, keep in mind that while change is possible, it cannot be mandated. Each person must travel a very specific path of confession for themselves. Though much we would want for someone to transform, that transformation has to come from inside them, motivated by their own awareness of the need of pardon and atonement. For those personally grappling with this topic, maybe the wisest course of action is one of empathy and tolerance. Know that narcissism is a complicated condition, thus, change, if it comes, will be delayed and challenging. Emphasize your own spiritual health and well-being in the interim. Pray for people who seem lost in their own egos. Trust, in the big picture, divine grace is constantly at work, even in ways we cannot instantly observe. We really appreciate you coming today. This conversation should help you to better understand the complicated interaction of narcissism, atonement, and divine pardon. Should you like this video, kindly thumbs up it, forward it to your friends, and leave comments below expressing your ideas. Remember too that now is the time to subscribe if you haven't already. We have a lot more provocative material just waiting for you. Till next time, be careful and keep blessed.
Greetings and welcome to another discussion in our series on breaking free from narcissistic relationships. Today, we delve into the concealed emotions experienced by narcissists when their victims choose to liberate themselves from a toxic influence. Before we proceed with this insightful analysis, please subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights and updates. Let us navigate the intricate world of narcissism together. A prevalent belief suggests that narcissists remain unaffected emotionally when their victims escape their grasp, as they seemingly always have another source of attention. This perception often leads to the assumption that their emotions are inconsequential. However, it is imperative to recognize that while I can offer my perspective, it may not universally apply to all narcissists. When a victim decisively severs ties with a narcissist, it profoundly disrupts the narcissist's emotional equilibrium. This unexpected abandonment engenders a visceral, gut-wrenching reaction, creating an emotional tempest that profoundly unsettles them. It is important to clarify that this acknowledgement is not intended to evoke sympathy or prompt reconsideration of your decision to leave. Recognizing that narcissists experience pain upon being abandoned should not cause you to doubt your choice. Your decision to depart was made in response to the significant pain and suffering they inflicted upon you. Now, let us confront the stark reality. Narcissists have subjected you to excruciating torment, a tumultuous journey of suffering that has left you emotionally battered and scarred. You have endured the erosion of trust and the blatant disregard for the boundaries that define a healthy relationship. These harrowing experiences compelled you to declare that enough was enough. You have demonstrated remarkable courage in extricating yourself from this toxic dynamic, prioritizing self-preservation and embracing the liberation that comes from valuing your own well-being freedom, and happiness above the torment you endured. It is remarkable how frequently narcissists react with apparent astonishment when confronted with the reality of their victim's departure. They seem genuinely taken aback when it becomes evident that all ties have been severed and no contact will be initiated. This response can be likened to changing the access code to one's life, a necessary step for personal well-being. Upon realizing the permanence of the separation, many narcissists experience a tumultuous emotional upheaval, characterized by various stages of psychological distress. Some become obsessively fixated on the absence of their former partner. Initially, they may deny the gravity of the situation, dismissing it as a routine breakup and minimizing its significance as a temporary setback. This denial is soon replaced by disbelief as the reality of the situation gradually becomes apparent. The narcissist begins to comprehend the finality of the departure, grappling with the bewildering fact that their partner has indeed left. Subsequently, the blame game ensues. Anger envelopes the narcissist as they direct accusations towards their former partner, alleging a lack of genuine love or care. This fury intensifies as they question how their partner could abandon them in such a manner, drawing comparisons to previous instances of perceived desertion and unleashing their emotional turmoil. An intriguing aspect to consider is that, for some narcissists, forming new connections does not necessarily equate to extinguishing the emotions they once held for their former partner. This complexity defies simplistic explanations. It is not uncommon for individuals to embark on new chapters in their lives while still harboring lingering sentiments for past relationships. In conclusion, the narcissist's reaction to the departure of their victim encompasses a spectrum of emotional responses, ranging from denial and disbelief to anger and fixation. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for those seeking to liberate themselves from toxic relationships, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing personal well-being and emotional health. Narcissists often hastily enter new relationships as a means of seeking refuge from unresolved emotions of the past. They frequently fail to confront and process these deeply buried feelings, which consequently cast a shadow over their new relationships, echoing the unfinished chapters of their previous experiences. It is a perplexing reality that narcissists, despite appearing to swiftly move on to new sources of validation or seeming deeply affected by a partner's departure, are actually acting from a place of profound emotional pain. Upon recognizing the genuine detachment of their former partner, narcissists are thrust into a whirlwind of emotions, including bewilderment, remorse, and eventually rage. This anger fuels a series of compulsive and vindictive behaviors. They become persistently insistent, incessantly reaching out, appearing uninvited, leaving desperate notes, and bombarding their former partner with calls. Simultaneously, narcissists are often devising a backup plan, securing another source of validation in case their former partner does not return. The fear of losing their former partner forever drives them to exhibit erratic and obsessive conduct, while simultaneously laying the groundwork for a new relationship or seeking a fresh target. Narcissists, typically devoid of shame and adept at evading accountability, strive to justify their actions within their own distorted reality. They may claim to be moving on because their former partner left them, all the while secretly harboring hope for their return. They will say and do whatever it takes to ensnare their former partner again. In summary, the behavior of narcissists following the termination of a relationship is marked by a complex interplay of unresolved emotions, compulsive actions, and strategic planning. Understanding these dynamics is essential for those who have detached from a narcissistic relationship, emphasizing the importance of maintaining boundaries and prioritizing one's emotional well-being. The methods employed by narcissists often involve relentless obsession, and when such tactics fail, unyielding anger takes over. It is crucial to recognize that an enraged narcissist can pose significant dangers. Therefore, it may be prudent to depart discreetly, causing minimal disturbance while still effectively severing ties. The mere thought of your life continuing beyond their influence can destabilize a narcissist to a hazardous extent. As you break free, their meticulously constructed facade begins to crumble, leaving them disoriented and bewildered. This unexpected turn of events is not part of their anticipated script, and they may respond by lashing out and attempting to deflect blame onto you. It is essential to understand that while traces of truth might linger in their reactions, navigating a narcissist's realm at this level can be exceedingly treacherous. Be prepared for their response to escalate dramatically, as narcissists are known for pushing situations to extreme limits. Narcissists may experience significant emotional turmoil, including depression, following your departure. Some might resort to manipulative tactics, such as making statements like, "I am so despondent, I might end it all." In such cases, it is imperative not to shoulder this burden alone. Reach out to a mental health crisis hotline or request a wellness check from professionals. Becoming personally involved might inadvertently make you another target, so seeking professional assistance is the best course of action. Always bear in mind that your paramount concern is your safety and well-being. While it is commendable to possess empathy and compassion, it is equally vital to ensure you maintain the strength necessary for taking crucial steps, including seeking external assistance. Narcissists can veer into dangerous territory when their world begins to crumble. Despite the semblance of truth in their emotions, prioritizing the safety of all involved parties is imperative. It is important to understand that their words, though they may sound sincere, do not guarantee lasting change. These words often reflect their strong attachment to you and their fear of being alone. When you express your desire to leave, the narcissist might react emotionally, potentially losing control. If the situation becomes unsafe, it is crucial to involve authorities to ensure your safety. Additionally, if you have children with the narcissist, be prepared for the possibility that they might use the children to manipulate and hurt you. Sadly, this is a reality that cannot be ignored. Your safety and well-being must always come first.